Morning, folks. Some pretty tough words from Rudy Giuliani for the anti-Wall Street protesters. He said instead of occupying Wall Street, occupy a job. That was his advice. A former New York City mayor called out the demonstrators while blaming the spread of the movement on President Obama.
How about trying something different to help our economy instead of occupying Wall Street and occupying Boston and occupying Oakland? And how about you occupy a job? How about working? Woohoo, working. I know that's tough. Woodstock is more fun. Right? Woodstock's a lot more fun than working 8 hours a day.
Well, that's probably true. David Webb joins me now. He is talk show host and founder of the Tea Party 365 NYC, and Sally Cohn, Occupy Wall Street supporter and activist, founder of MovementVision.org. So I know you both have been down there. Sally, let's start with you. What do you think about what Rudy Giuliani, he also said he would have cleared him out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
There was that moment when Mayor Bloomberg said, actually, we're not going to clean today. We're going to clean another day.
Yeah, there are so many things absurd about Giuliani's quote. I don't know where to begin, but let's start with the basic fact that, he comes from the same camp of middle-class attackers and Wall Street defenders who are complaining that we're not creating enough jobs right now. So to suggest that, we don't have enough jobs, but these people should go down and get jobs is so disingenuous. Literally, I don't know where to start. But the larger point is, look, if you go down to Occupy Wall Street or to the Occupy sites around the country, yes, a lot of the folks don't have jobs because they've tried to get jobs and we have record unemployment. And a lot of the other folks, they have jobs, in fact, 2, 3 jobs, and they're frustrated that in this country, working hard does no longer put food on your table and help you create a future for your family. And that is a very good reason to protest.
David, what's your assessment when you go down there?
Well, I mean, on the jobs front, some of them do have jobs. ACORN shredding paperwork because it's now turning out they, like the Working Families Party, were paying people to go down there. Look, there are, and I've said this many times, have broadcasts from Occupy Wall Street, have been through it and talked to the people there. There are people who have genuine concerns, who we may come at it from different lanes, but they have real concerns about Wall Street, crony capitalism, and all those issues. The problem is they're not the narrative. The narrative that comes out of Occupy Wall Street is disruption, destruction of property, assaults, violence against women, PSL Webb, socialists, Leninists, Marxists, and anarchists. Now, for those people who have been frankly overrun by that, and the fires in Oakland and the 36 arrests since Wednesday here in New York alone.
But this is an interesting point,
this is the narrative.
I think there's been a reluctance in many ways to talk about the things that have gone awry, about the vandalism and the damage, because, what happens to the Tea Party
if I could finish, there's a very important point here I want to make. Self-policing as a movement, if you will. When somebody came out in the Tea Party, didn't fit what it was. I went on national TV and took Mark Williams on. We got rid of Dale Robertson, a racist who showed up in Houston. No self-policing by the, quote, Occupy Wall Street movement. They should have forcefully ejected this.
That's the argument. Sally, I think that's why some people have been reluctant to point out some of these things that are happening at some of these rallies and the damage and the vandalism that has been done, because they don't want to be painted with the broad stroke. Well, you weren't willing to accept the people who were crazy in the Tea Party, so you got to be, you can't do the same thing by vilifying these Wall Street occupiers. But, when I wake up, now they've got a tent to keep women safe in this area in New York. They've had 2 sexual assaults in New York, and, they're throwing stuff and starting fires.
But the fact that they're responding and saying the fact that they're responding in the same breath as saying that they're not self-policing is ridiculous.
Wait,
David,
a safe tent from rape is not a response.
You got your chance. This is New York City, and we actually know that we've had a number of rapes around the city that police haven't been adequately responding to. So let's put that in a little bit of context. But look, David, Martha, the larger point here is that throughout the Occupy movement, people are roundly condemning not only the personal violence, the property damage, all of those things. So look, you have a large movement, you have a few people, and it is similar to the Tea Party in that sense, that there were a number of unseemly and unsavory things happening in the larger movement that didn't represent the movement. But the fact of the matter is that folks like Mr. Webb want to throw everything in the kitchen sink at these folks because they are so popular, because the majority of
hang on. Now you're filibustering. Let's go to the facts by the numbers here.
Because the majority of Americans support them and understand that the economy is broken. It isn't working for working people. Period.
Go ahead. We're almost out of time. I'd love to talk to you guys about this for a long time.
No comparison in the numbers when you compare 700 arrests on the Brooklyn Bridge alone. There weren't 70 arrests, if that, in the Tea Party. Maybe 7 incidences. The fact is that, again, we get to the point of allocation of resources. I talked to an NYPD officer right before I walked in here. 36 arrests since Wednesday in New York alone. They've allocated resources from other boroughs and people in the
a lot of businesses that can't function.
Well, this is costing the city money in NYPD fire emergency. Cities are already strained.
It is. It's one last thought. I'm wrapping me like crazy.
Look, thousands of people were arrested during the civil rights movement. We didn't object to
Not
that, right?
a comparison to the civil rights movement.
This is a mass movement of people rising up for equality.
This is a mass movement of thousands of anarchists and disruptors.
It's not clear what they want. You know, the civil rights movement, it was very clear what the desire was.
It wasn't necessarily in 1954 and 1955 when the movement was starting. This is the beginning, and it's actually very clear what they want. They want an economy that works for everyone.
The DNA of this found is nowhere near the civil rights movement.
There's no such thing.
Civil rights was about a contract with the people of America of freedom, access to laws, and equal treatment.
Yeah, it was about equal opportunity, and that's what these folks
gotta go. As you can see, we're going to have to continue this
conversation.
David Webb, thank you very much. Sally Cohen, thank you both.